each different bubble of reality is true.
A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma.
Nudge, nudge. It's the Holy Grail.
Improvise. Mysterious.
It's counter-psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.
Alrighty.
All right, so the setup question is, you asked me, let's talk about Cambridge Analytica and some of the deeper implications you see from it.
I just mentioned to Andrew that I'm actually working on a Origins of War Part 3, and it was basically going to be just a bit of a summary of AIs on the various levels, such as in the control rooms and the good and the bad aspects of that, and a cyber warfare video I did with Andrew and Sean a while back. And we're talking today, which is April the 5th, April the 6th, 2018, and it's going to be mixed up with quite a few other clips of different ages and stuff like that. And there's something going on interesting with Facebook at the moment, and Andrew actually dropped a pretty good bombshell for me, and I'm in the throes of creating this product that's going to sort of define the AI perspective from Andrew. So do you want to offer what you felt would add to that, mate?
Yes. So Facebook is in a bit of a pickle dealing with a company called Cambridge Analytica. Now, a variety of material that's come out is showing that this doctor that had some form of deal with Facebook was harvesting data and selling that data, and as much as 50 million users had their data stolen or analyzed without them knowing, including their friends and family, and everyone within their network. So it's quite closer to 300 or 400 million users have been used by this Cambridge Analytica. You have Mark Zuckerberg testifying in front of the European Union, in front of the American Congress, so on and so forth. And my statement now is, what is behind Cambridge Analytica and why it is in the news right now is for that doctor that was in charge of the Cambridge Analytica program was actually using an artificial intelligence as a commercial tool to sell information to political groups, which goes back to show that we have a mercenary system to the highest bidder inside the American political organizations. And that Cambridge Analytica is going to be shown in the Italian elections, it's going to be shown in the European elections, for using an AI to chart people's social media processes and to create stories and run as many as 30 to 50,000 bots on different sites to generate arguments and complaints in favor for their analytics.
Interesting.
A complete management system that used the Facebook harvesting data and a variety of other harvested data to create a plan in which they sell to a political organization, which they can implement over 18 months of an election season.
Fascinating. It's very interesting, mate, because I've actually, what I've shared with Andrew many times throughout many of the recordings I've done with him is that I watch a lot of the video shows that are released because there's a lot of interesting soft disclosures going on, and one of them is Homeland. And Homeland's in the 7th series at the moment, and what it's about, it's the narrative is about Russia, like information warfare, which is fascinating, trying to take down the US presidency. And in that, they've got this particular agent that's really technically advanced on dispersing information, and he's got all these bots, and they're all fake, and it's all creating a narrative through a threshold of perception, and then it's into the public, and it's really like a wildfire of disinformation. And they've got the overlays of the locations where the servers are and the relationship to the bots, and then they're seeing it on all these overlays of scale in like technical sort of visual way. It's brilliant. And the 6th season was actually really cool because it was about this Alex Jones sort of character that was working with the warfare division of the CIA, and they had fusion centers where they had all the bots going and stuff like that. So it's actually fascinating. I don't agree with the storylines, but they're presenting it in a way that actually is revealing a lot of truth to me. So it's very cool.
there's another TV series called The Blacklist, and I believe it was season 2 or 3. I'm not exactly sure, where they had a one of their people that they were trying to capture. His special thing was he can manipulate all the social media things to create events, create personalities, move you around country and place, and use facial recognition against the system itself for hiding terrorists, moving people through, so on and so forth. And then there's the show, what's it called?
Person of Interest.
Interest, yes. Where I was referring to Cambridge Analytica, you have Samaritan, and then you have what I'm talking about, somebody that has purchased an AI, because yes, AIs are on the market to be purchased. Car factories have been using AI since the early 2000s, and you can actually go and buy different forms of AI for factories. And what does that AI do? It looks at your employees coming in and goes out. It loses all the analytics and everything from each machine that it's plugged into, the amount of electricity that it uses to make an efficient network. That's what it artificially does. It's programmed. Now, if you have something that's similar to a commercial AI that is now owned by a doctor who's harvesting information, he's not the first one to do it. He's just the first one to get potentially caught.
Yeah, because I think the interesting thing about the difference with person of interest and this Facebook thing is the person of interest goes through the NSA sort of trunk lines, where this is just the data collected on actual, like a social platform, which is an isolated section of the whole internet. Yeah.
And then the AI massages the data to create usable pieces of information in prediction models.
Yes. Prediction modeling is a very big thing to be aware of, because it's all just data, and then it's the whole algorithm of the reality is a massive greater scale of what we're talking about here, right?
And what will come out if Cambridge Analytica is exposed in the way that I think that it'll be exposed, it's not guaranteed yet, that this last election cycle, both the Democrats and the Republicans hired 2 forms of Cambridge Analytica. What went on is the Trump campaign used their data and analytics to promote his live speeches and what he would actually say, so it would have a far bigger trigger on social media, whereas the Clinton campaign used the AI to go after its base, not for organizing, but what was going to make them vote for Hillary versus Trump. They massaged the data differently. The Clinton campaign also believed that, Trump would never get through all the way to the end, but he did, because he had an AI tool at his hands to make sure every speech had the deepest form of impact on the social media systems that were engaged in those people that were going to potentially vote for him. Who simply wouldn't vote for Hillary because it was the continuing of that dynasty, and that dynasty needed to come to an end.
Yeah, I've seen articles where, Trump is seen as bad, all right, but Obama used it and that sort of thing as well, but it's not seen as bad as him employing it. Has it been going on a while, this sort of stuff with the elections and that?
So as I said, AI's been available commercially since 2002 to 2004. Now, there were AIs that were available at the military-industrial complex level as up into the mid-'80s, around the mid-'80s. Reagan was being encouraged to run for president even before he declared it. He was approached by a group of political strategists to transfer from being the governor of California to this next level, running for president under a conservative call after Jimmy Carter. And they needed someone that could act the way they needed to act in every situation that was going to unfold, because during that time, they already had understood that the Soviet Union was going to implode economically. The Soviet Union's cooked their books far differently than the United States cooked their books. The United States was able to send funds off and keep the robbing Peter to pay Paul system with their political system covered up, where the Russians couldn't. It became a massive separation of caste. And that's what created a need to end and implode that system, so that they could start with a clean set of cooked books. Now, once Russia went down, none of their black projects went down, none of their black ops went down, so on and so forth. That's all known. Okay? Now, when Reagan came into office, AI as an artificial intelligence existed within the military, and it was basically pitched to Reagan through these political strategists that the military was going to use technology to back him to help him to win. And that's the first real use of AI to influence an election system.
Yeah.
And you got to realize no one had computers really then. You had the Apple IIc.
Yeah.
There were not millions. There were thousands.
Yeah.
Less than 50,000. Less than 100,000 computers.
But basically, they were mainframes, not something that you had on your home, you know.
Right. Okay. So what did that AI do to get him elected? It looked at television advertising. It looked at television consumption, cable consumption, and took his old movies, and a year and a half ahead of elections began imprinting Ronald Reagan worldwide. That's what it did. So that it made the election very easy and very programmable, and then putting out specialized pieces, political pieces, pieces that are meant to be propaganda to influence people. But that's what the elections were then, before they are crazy like they are now. Now, he gets in office, and he brings in his war hawks, because they were already saying, we're going to do this, this, and this. You're the figurehead. We need you to act this out and do it right, so these people believe.
So then Reagan was an attempted assassination, right? And George Bush was ready to step up.
Each different bubble of reality is true.
A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma.
Nudge, nudge. It's the Holy Grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.